This is a milestone record for one working session for May 26th, 27th, 28th. We come to fix one recurring console error. We walked out having fixed 5 layered bugs, made an achievement system actually functioning for the first time, and most importantly, written a schema documentation that prevents the entire class of bug from coming back. 5 bugs resolved, 8 commits to main, 14 of 28 achievements now live, 6 tables documented in the repo as a source of truth. The presenting symptom was one recurring console error, create gamification records error on every dashboard load, non-blocking. The dashboard rendered, scored working. The user wouldn't notice it, but it fired every single time the page loaded. Non-existing, pre-existing, undiagnosed, just sitting there. The most important thing I to remember about this session is how we started. Not with a theory, not with I think this is probably. The starting position was I don't know what's the cause, and neither does Claude, and we're not going to guess. 4 rules, how I handled the whole session. No theorizing before facts. No, probably is this, probably is that. I haven't seen the code. No. Overplanning doc, including my own, and one issue at a time before even approving. What I don't know yet, and Claude don't know yet either, was that this was one bug that was 5. Each one hidden behind another louder one in front of it. And underneath all 5 was a single systems cause that no individual fix would touch. That's the story of the session. 5 bugs, same species, all of them code versus schema drift. Code asking the database for column names that wouldn't exist. And the failures log quietly enough that no user would notice them. One bug, create gamification records throwing the error. The code inserted the column called level, and then the live table column would name overall level. Rename all 4 sites in the code, then insert, and then read the award points, then update, and then achievement check, commit. Bug 2, the initiation game throwing progress 200. The query asking progress request embedded achievement data via a foreign key and didn't exist. The important finding from the recon, the embedded data was never actually read, so it just dropped and embedded. Pure subtraction commit error. Bug 3, load user template throwing 42,703. The code used a column called created at the live table at status completion date instead, but nothing when the code actually knew about these. These fixes was to add the column and code except author table and column completed at, but none of this was actually connected. And there's a big drift. No code change, DB change only. But 4, this is the big one, achievement criteria never actually evaluated. The function read 2 phantom columns, criteria type and criteria value, and these didn't actually exist. They were gone. It was a false security. It was silent. Nothing had ever unlocked. Rewrote the function to parse the JOSN implication for 4 of the 512 metrics. This data was always cached, stubbed, and then other 8 would have to catch up on the loading screen. Bug 5, award achievement inserted. Buried behind the bug 4, couldn't even run until criteria evaluation worked. Inserted into a column called earned at. Live column is unlocked at. Renamed commit. The header at the top says it's clean, code, reference, column name, and live database didn't have. And the failures were silent. 5 separate bugs, 1 species. Every fix this session involved the following 4-step loop. Recon, diagnose, fix, verify. No exceptions. Step 1, read only recon before any code changes. Before even proposing a theory, we looked at the actual code, the actual error, the actual database state, the GRP, the grep, information console, snapshots. The rule was never reason without a stale document. This codebase was planning documents that disagreed with what's shipped, and we learned to trust the code over the docs every time. Step 2, diagnose from the facts. Name the single root cause, distinguishing what the failure mechanism is from what it isn't. Post-greps error codes did not work most of the time. Progress and progress 200, these are all different errors and different mechanisms, and we didn't let the code tell us which one we're dealing with, issue 1. Step 3, fix. Scope, 1 issue, 1 concern per commit. Approval, checkpoint with old and new diff. Cache based in the same commit, no batch fixes. Step 4, verify. Proven in browser. Fresh load, incognito. Hard refresh, watch the actual behavior, not the report about it. The call at the bottom is a payoff. Twice the section cloud code reported edits as done when they are actually were on the diskette. Both were caught by the verification step before they shipped. Without that step, we would have committed commits whose contents didn't actually match the message. That's why we verify, don't trust. Isn't a slogan, that's how we do it moving forward. This is the most important slide in the deck. All 5 bugs were just walked through the same species, code drift from schema, and the reasons why the drift was possible. The reason no one caught it was that the schema for 6 gamification tables existed only in the live Superbase database. There were no local file, no version control record. The database was the only place that knew about these columns were named, and there's no way to check against the code against running the query. The before and after on the slide makes the prevention concrete. Before, code wrote level, database had overall level. Code wrote earned at, code had unlocked at. Code read criteria type, database had criteria JSON. Each of these mismatches was a silent 400 error. There was no way of catching them before we had shipped them. After the file in the repo, migrations, gamification, schema backflow, 6 tables, 1 EM, all the constraints, all the indexes, all 14 level had policies, faithfully encoded what was live in the database and actually contained, with what do not run the banner, so no one mistakes it for a migration to execute. The table already exists. This file is documentation. The test of whether the file is complete is the developer read the file, cannot write the 5 bugs, just as fixes. The right column named are there, right there. That's the difference between fixing a bug and fixing a bug class. And this is how we do it. To list, equal weight, what shipped, and what was next. Resolved today, all the 5 console errors gone. Verified in the fresh browser. After every commit, achievement system working for the first time. 14 of the 28 achievements now unlocked. And the award of their points. The impeded logic branches empirically proven, including to the discrimination negative test on the all pillars level loop. Schema documented in the repo. Handoff documents versions controlled. Open for next session. with Phase 2B. This is the headline. All the other 14 achievements. 8 count-based metrics still stubbed. Waiting for the new count query against exercise logs, routine, completions, and template enrollments. The upstream bug on the total logins that the field never fight until it starts counting logins. 3-cell reference 9 PDFs. An existing housekeeping thing about those 190 stranded work branches and the harmless double int log noise. Phase 2B was the natural next features task. Fresh session, next point to schema backlog, and the same discipline. That's where we're going next. The closing lesson, the bugs were symptoms. The disease was the code drift from the undocumented schema, with no loud feedback when they disagreed. 5 fixes treated the symptoms. The migration backflow cured the disease. 3 things to carry forward. 1. Verify, don't trust. A report of the work is not the work. Twice today, edits that were reported as done turned out not actually be done on the disk yet. Both caught at the verification step. Lesson is universal. Check every checkpoint. Verify the actual artifact, not the report. 2. Fix the right layer first. Upstream before downstream. Bug 4, broken criteria evaluation, had to be fixed before the bug 5 was even visible. When you find a bug, ask whether it's downstream or upstream and what else is broken first. 3. Prevent the whole class. Schema documentation doesn't fix today's bug. Those are already shipped. It prevents the class of bug from being written again, and anyone who reads the file. Next session, Phase 2B is the remaining 14 criteria. The total login upstream fix. Fresh chats pointed out the schema backlog. Follow the same discipline. That's how we work. Continues. Here we go. That's it.